हरे कृष्णा सुंदर रूप श्याम प्रभु दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु जी।
Krishna Prabhu, Dandats Pranam.
दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु जी। Are we ready, Prabhu? Is it possible to turn on the camera?
Okay, just give me 2 minutes, Prabhu. Just 2 minutes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandot Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandats Pranam.
Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, Dandvat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandats Pranam, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu ji, thank you. Hare Krishna devotees, welcome to Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Today we are very fortunate to have the association of His Grace Sundar Rup Shyam Prabhu, who will be sharing the nectar of Srimad Bhagavatam from canto number 5, chapter number 19 and sloka number 9. Hare Krishna Prabhu ji, over to you Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavata Pranam.
Dandats Pranam. Okay, so let's see how much we can discuss about the glories of Narayana Rishis today. Is my audio good enough or you want more?
It's good Prabhu.
Okay. Okay, I'll try my level best to explain. But we'll also do some recap because some of the glories of the Lord needs to be understood very nicely. So we'll do some recap. We'll also do some current sloka understanding. Okay. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadadi Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sakagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hare Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyev cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Desatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Okay, welcome all to today's program. So let me first share the sloka. Okay, so this is the sloka that we're going to read today. We'll read the sloka and then we'll get to the details. Okay, reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 19, Text 9. Bharate api varshe Bhagavan Nara Narayanakya Akalpantam Upachita Dharma Jnana Vairagya Aishwarya Upasana Uprama Atma Upalambam Anugraya Atmavatam Anukampaya Tapa Avyakta Gatihi Charati. A very long word. Okay, let's read the synonym. Bharate, in the Bharata. Api also, Varshe, the tract of land. That means in the location of the Bharatvarsha land. Okay. Bhagavan, the Supreme Personal Godhead. Nara Narayana Akyaha. known as Naranarayana, Akalpa Antam, at the end of the millennium. Upachita, increasing, Dharma, religion. Jnana is knowledge, Vairagya, renunciation or non-attachment. Aishwarya, mystic opulence. Upasama, control of the senses. Uparama, freedom from false ego. Atma upalambanam, self-realization. Anugrahaya, to show favor. Atmavatam, on to persons interested in self-realization. Anukampaya, by causeless mercy. Tapaha, austerity. Avyaktagatihi, whose glories are inconceivable. Charati, executes. Translation by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Sukadeva Goswami continued. The glories of Supreme Personality Godhead are inconceivable. He has appeared in the form of Naranarayana in the land of Bharatavarsha, all at the place known as Badrikashrama, to favor his devotees by teaching them religion, knowledge, renunciation, spiritual power, sense control, and freedom from false ego. He is advanced in the opulence of spiritual assets, and he engages in executing austerity until end of this millennium. This is the process of self-realization. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. People in India may visit the temple of Naranarayana at Badrikashrama just to learn how Supreme Person Godhead in his incarnation as Naranarayana engages in austerities to teach the people of the world how to achieve self-realization. It is impossible to realize oneself simply by absorbing oneself in speculation and material activities. That's a very important word too, very important sentence to pay attention. It is impossible to realize oneself simply by absorbing oneself in speculation and material activities. One must be very serious about self-realization and practice of austerity. Unfortunately, the people of this age of Kali do not even know the meaning of austerity. Under these circumstances, the Lord has appeared as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to bestow upon the fallen souls the easiest method of self-realization, technically called Cheto Darpana Marjanam, cleansing of the dirt from the core of one's heart. This method is extremely simple. Anyone can chant the glorious Krishna Sankirtana. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. In this age, there are different forms, so-called advanced scientific knowledge, such as anthropology, Marxism, Freudianism, nationalism, industrialism. But if we work very hard under their guidance, instead of adopting the process practiced by Naranarayana, we shall waste our valuable form of life. Thus, we shall certainly be cheated and misled. Okay? So here clearly it is saying how material activities will mislead us into a different kind of life, and how understanding the position of the soul in relationship with the super soul and taking the process of Chetodarpana Marjanam by the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra, one can reach what is called as the stage of self-realization. Bahunam janmanamante jnanavan mam prapatyate vasudevas sarvamiti. That is self-realization. So they will reach the self-realization and practice of austerity. What was austerity in this previous ages? The austerity is chanting the holy name in this current age. So go on chanting the holy name of Krishna and perfect your life. So Naranarayana Rishis came to this world to show us the method and process of self-realization. So they have worked on intense tapasya. Okay. So let's just deep dive a little bit into okay, where am I? Clicking the wrong thing. Okay, I'll just share this. Yeah. So let's deep dive into something about the past, and then we'll come to this Jambudipa, the islands of Jambudipa, and then see what is it. Okay. So now descriptions of Jambudipa has already been discussed. So then I will just give a snapshot of what are the various prayers that was done. Right. So initially you saw the prayers by Shankarshana, Lord Shiva to Shankarshana in the Ilavrita Varsha. in that region. Okay, then we continue to discuss about prayers of Bhadrashva, right? So he was offering prayers to Hayashira, which is Hayagriva, Indra, Bhadravarsha, Bhadrashava Varsha. Okay, then we the discussion on Prahlad. Prahlad glorifying Lord Narsimha in the Harivarsha region, the island of Harivarsha. Okay. Then after that, we also had discussion of Lakshmi ji glorifying Rishikesha, right, in Ketumala Varsha. Then about prayers of Matsa Kurma Varaha by the different Manus, Aryam, and Earth in the respective Varshas of Ramyaka Varsha, Hiranmaya Varsha, and Kuru Varsha. Then later on, in the last concluded, in the current chapter, chapter 19, that is verses from 1 to 8, the discussion is about Hanuman. Hanuman offering prayers to Lord Ram and in the Kimpursha Varsha, right? So from the 9th sloka, you will see it is Nardaji, Narada Muni offering prayers to Naranarayana Rishi in the Bharata Varsha. And this is the last of the entire Varsha. So this completes the description of the islands of Jambudvipa, right? So now you see, whichever island you go, wherever you go, the glorification of the Supreme Lord is what is going on as a continuous process. Okay. So in the current chapter, that is chapter 19, a lot of discussions have been made about the qualities of our beloved Lord. So I just want to give some realization and snapshot about these qualities. Okay. See, when Lord Krishna exhibit these qualities, whatever qualities it may be, whether Lord Ram or Lord Krishna, the qualities do exist, but the qualities do not give or get highlighted unless the Lord demonstrates. So that means when Krishna demonstrates the quality of Vidya Ras, then that quality gets highlighted. And people get attention to it. Oh, I want to follow that. Right? So the beauty of the quality gets glorified or decorated when Lord demonstrates those qualities. That's the point that you have to understand. Right? So, for example, we know the pastimes of Samantaka jewel. The Samantaka jewel by itself is not so much interested to devotees because it was more material in nature because it can keep producing gold and then people were running after it to somehow possess it. But when Lord's pastime gets linked to Samantaka jewel, then Samantaka jewel gets attracted. Oh, that's a great jewel. The same thing with Vaijanti Mala. Same thing with Pitambar. Right? So this is the glory of the Lord. A particular quality gets highlighted, gets attracted because it's demonstrated by the Lord. Right? So, for example, I'll quote this example of Lord Ram. Right? So Lord Ram was given the muhurta. For that, he was going to be coronated as the king of Ayodhya. Right? So muhurta is a specified time that was given on a particular date. So Lord Ram did all the pre-preparations and was getting ready. Next day morning is his coronation. But during the same muhurta time, right? Kaikeyi disastrous greed and whatever negative qualities you want to call it as. She came to just banish Ram, banish him to the forest. And she did in the same muhurta. But Lord Ram was demonstrating the quality of commitment, that is keeping up his word, and the quality of compassionate. Right? He did not get angry with Kaikeyi. He demonstrated his compassionate and he immediately left Ayodhya to take Vanavas. Right? So you see, this quality of commitment to keeping up his word, the quality of compassion is existing, but it gets highlighted when Ram demonstrates it. So when Ram demonstrates, it is important to give your word and keep up your word. It is important to show compassionate. Then the whole world wants to follow it. That is the glory of the Supreme Personality. Right? So we'll just quote the story of Vibhishana also. So what happened to Vibhishana? Vibhishana came to surrender to Lord Ram. When he came to surrender to Lord Ram, Sugriva stopped him, saying that, no. He's a traitor. We cannot give him shelter. He must be, in fact, killed. Like that, Vibhishana spoke. Sorry, Sugriva spoke. But at the time, what Lord Ram did, he said he gave shelter to Vibhishana. He said, forget Vibhishana. Even if Lord Ram comes and says, I want to take a shelter, I want to surrender, I will give him shelter. That was the quality of compassion that Lord Ram demonstrated. So compassion as a quality is not keeping our traits of past experiences with someone and make a conclusive behavior based on that is not compassion. Compassion is always showing mercifulness, always accommodating others under what circumstances it may be, is the greatness. So devotees who follow the character of Lord Ram, right, they also get attracted and they also try to become very compassionate, right? So this is how, we can understand the qualities and life of Lord Ram, right? So Lord Ram is like a testing stone. So you know what a testing stone is? A testing stone is like, see, when someone gives you gold, right? They want to test the quality of the gold, whether it's 24 karat, 22 karat, 19 karat, whatever it may be. So what they do, they'll take the stone and rub it on gold. And then they'll see, okay, by seeing the color, the shade, and the other texture, they'll say, okay, this is 18 karat, 19 karat, 20 karat, whatever it may be, purity, right? So Ram is not the gold, but Ram is a testing stone to ascertain the various qualities that one can demonstrate. Like that, the quality of Ram is, right? So we'll do some more recap. I thought I'll explain some of the qualities of the Lord. We'll do some more recap. I'll talk about the qualities of charity that the Lord Ram demonstrates, right? So when the Brahmanas glorified Lord Ram and they performed, various austerities for the pleasure of Lord was so pleased with the Brahmanas. What the Lord did, Lord said, whatever I have, I want to give away this wealth for the welfare of these Brahmanas. He gave away everything. Every opulence that he possessed in the kingdom, he just gave everything except the nose pin that Mother Sita was wearing. Everything he gave away. But these Brahmanas were so touched, saying that your love and affection for us is so much that all these opulence that you possess, you don't have any attachment to them. You don't really care for them. You really care for us. You have all of us in your hearts. So similarly, Lord Ram, we also would like to have you and your instructions, your form, your glory in our heart. We don't want all these opulences. Then they just returned all those offerings back to the Lord Ram. Right? So now you see the quality of charity. You see very contrasting how charity is performed in the current age or charity performed in the previous ages. When charity is performed, people take the center stage. Hey, I'm performing charity. Right? So charity is glorifying the personality because he's doing that act of charity. That's what people do today. When they give charity, they want to take photographs, they want to put their names, they want to do all sorts of glorification for themselves. But look at Lord Ram. He gave the glory to the quality called charity. Right? So that's the point that we need to understand about how Lord distinguishes himself. How Lord is in the purest state of his consciousness. So anyone wants to connect with that Supreme Lord, who is an example of purity in consciousness, should also possess those qualities to connect with the Lord. If we continue to possess material attachments or material impurities in our heart, our intelligence gets perverted. They also get impurified. Our mind gets impurified. So there is no way that we can connect with the Lord. We will see those examples in the Naranarayana Rishi's case also. Right? So, in the process of sadhana bhakti, devotees also practice these things very, very carefully. What is it that they want to offer themselves to the Lord? And they keep evolving by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, by reading the Shastras regularly, by serving the great Vaishnavas, by hearing from them the glories of the Lord, the glories of Shastric study, all these things. They also, want to offer these wonderful qualities, amorous qualities to the Lord. As they get purified, the realization about the absolute truth becomes more and more clear. In an impure state of material contamination, no one can realize the Lord. The realization of the Lord will be very, very minute. That will not be enough. We will also look at the purification of consciousness with respect to the sloka. Vadanti tat tattva vidas tattvam jnanam atvayam. Brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavaniti shabdeti. How one's material purifications can slowly elevate him to higher and higher realization realms of Lord. You can see that in the life and pastimes of Naranarayana rishis also. Generally, we equate the moon to the Lord because of its glaring, beautiful effulgence and purity in whiteness. So we say Vrindavan Chandra, we say Gaura Chandra, right? But if you actually analyze with a telescope, you'll see that even there are certain spots on that moon, right? Some spots here and there on the moon. But you will see Gaura Chandra, that Gauranga will be completely spotless. Ramachandra, Lord Ram is fully spotless, right? So the point to conclude is that material qualifications will not help us to attain the Lord, but our pure love which is not contaminated with material qualifications of karma and jnana, will attract the Lord, right? So that is the point that we have to understand. Prabhupada writes, not Prabhupada, Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur writes, okay, in Sundar. Very, very brilliantly he writes. He says that the Vanara Sena, that Lord Ram, engaged in his services. If you look at Vanara Sena, starting from Hanumanji, Hanumanji, he says that look at my bodily construct, right? My body is full of hair, and my facial construct also is not very appealing, okay? And we are not living in the cities, or we live in the forest, right? We don't maintain our purity. We are more passionate in nature, right? So that's the quality of Vanarasena. But if you see, they did not possess any of the material opulence that a general human being or a Ihadevata would possess. But still, Lord Ram engaged the Vanarasena in services that he performed in Ramayana. Right? So the love of Hanumanji is something phenomenally pure, which cannot be compared. So that love is what Lord Ram did. In fact, when Ram Lord returned back, and then when the entire Ramarajya time period was over, he took the entire Vasis of Ayodhya Vasis, back home, back to Godhead, along with him, in the same body of existence, because he said their body is completely purified. It is no more material, it is spiritual in nature. And then he took them back like that. See, that is the glory that we can understand. Okay. So now let's come to okay. So now let's come to the Naranarayana rishis, right? Before we go here, I also want to give a couple of pastimes that gives us realization. Okay. Now, if you talk about this Varnashrama system, right? Varnashrama system consists of 4 Varnas and 4 Ashramas, right? If you look at these Varnas and Ashramas, they are like the Brahmacharya Ashram, the Grahastha Ashram, Vanaprastha and Sannyasi Ashram, right? It is not an identity. These ashrams or Varnas are not our identity, but they are like a coat, like a suit for us, in order to mend this consciousness so that it can get attracted to the lotus feet of the Lord, right? So, in fact, if you read Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, right, there's one sloka. It says, Naham Vipro Narapatir Napi Vaishyo Nasudra. Right? It says, Naham Varnicha Grihapatir Vanasto Yatirva. Kintu Nikila Paramananda Paramananda Purnamrite Bir Gopir Pada Kamalayo Dasa Dasa Anudasa. So if you look at this sloka, it says that, oh Lord, I'm not a Brahmana that I'm getting qualified. And it's not that I'm a sannyasi getting qualified. It's not that I'm brahmachari householder that I'm getting qualified. My identity is what? Dasa, dasana, dasa. I'm just a servant and servant of you, my Lord. So, just like how, Krishna maintains the whole world, Krishna maintains the gopis, Krishna maintains the ordinary living entities also, right? But our existence attains its brilliance when we realize that our position as a servant of Lord, right? So this is the most important aspect that we want to understand, right? Love of separation and love of togetherness. Let me tell you one story. If you recollect, Hanumanji acting as a messenger for Lord Ram in his quest to search for Sita, right? So in this event, if you just recall this entire event, Lord Ram spoke such high qualities of Sita and his deep love of Sita, and then gave that message to Hanumanji. And as an identification, he also took his ring and then gave it to Hanuman and said, show this to Mother Sita, she will identify you. Now, if you look at the position of Hanumanji, he's thinking, I am a brahmachari. Why is my Lord talking about deep love between he and his wife? That is a grahastha. What will I understand? I don't know. He's got too much attachment to his wife. That was he was thinking. Now, when this Hanumanji went to Lanka, at his first sight, when he saw Mother Sita, he was so much captivated by the beauty of Sita. The beauty is not about her physical form, the beauty of her love and devotion that exhibited through her eyes, through her expressions, through her gestures. When he saw that, 1 second. I'm giving a class. I'll call you after the class. Sorry, it was Narayana Prabhu. Okay. So what was I talking about? So when he saw Mother Sita, he was completely captivated. So then he understood that there are two aspects of love, right? Mother Sita is demonstrating love and separation. And there is another aspect which is love and togetherness, Vipralamba and Sambhoga. Now, our Acharya is explaining the consciousness of Hanumanji. He's saying that if Lord Ram had so much of affection for Sita, I think he should have even left his body. Right? But he changed his mind once he saw Mother Sita saying that, how is Lord Ram still living in separation of Mother Sita? Because it's been several years now. Right? So he says that Vipralamba, which is love and separation, that is remembering the Lord, is a love that is higher in nature compared to the love and togetherness. Right? So Lord Ram was experiencing that greater love with Mother Sita in separation. It's so difficult. If you're, to live with someone and to remember someone in love without their presence is much, much harder and difficult. It's easy to give the body, saying that, I can't tolerate this anymore. But that's one shot. But to continue to live in separation, remembering of the Lord, is called extreme love. And that's what even the gopis did. When Krishna left Dwarka, the gopis also kept remembering Krishna, and expression of that love in separation is what they demonstrated. And Krishna considers that as the highest. Vipralamba Bhava is considered to be the highest. Right? So you see, Krishna says, Chaitanya Prabhu says in Sikshashtakam, in the seventh sloka, Yugayitam nimishena chakshusha prarushayitam shunyayitam jagat sharvam govinda virahenami. Shunyayitam jagat sharvam, wherever I'm not able to see you. Wherever I travel, wherever I see, the seven seas, I'm not able to see you. So, but what is it, that is happening to my consciousness is love and separation. That's what we are trying to cultivate. So our aspirations to cultivate love and separation of the Lord must keep on manifesting to higher and higher level, and that is deeper love. Right? This current loka that we are in called Martya Loka. What is Martya Loka? Martya Loka means where whoever people are born here, they will die. That's why it's called Martya Loka. We are given a body by which we will die at a particular period of time. So Krishna is, Lord Ram is coming as in the human form to give shelter to those people who have taken this human form and help them to understand that cultivation of love in separation is the most important aspect. So as devotees, as sadhakas, as we progress in our sadhana bhakti, we shall slowly reduce our material activities and qualifications. These are not required to attain the Lord. But our pure love is what is required to attain the Lord. Right? So this is the key message that I want to give as prelude. So I thought I'll spend some time on it. Right? Okay. So now we'll go to this sloka, which is 19.9, and which is about the glories of Naradaji on Naranarayana Rishis. Right? So we'll see who's this Naranarayana Rishi and how they descended to this and what they did. And one pastime with Indra, we will see that. Right? Bhishma related this story to Yudhishthir. That's how this entire story of Narayana Rishi comes to us. During Satyuga of the Swayambhu Manvantara, the great sage Dharma had begotten 4 incarnations of Lord Narayana. These are Nara, Narayana, Hari, and Krishna. Hari and Krishna were the first to undergo severe austerities in Badri, and then later on Narayana Rishis also did. Okay. So Narayana Rishis, they did tapasya, intense tapasya in Badrika Ashrama. And always when you do an austerity, when you do tapasya, you need to have an object of meditation. And their object of meditation was Lord Vishnu. Right? So this is how they started their meditation activities. Okay, what did they do the meditation on? So before we go into that meditation and how did they meditate, what events happened, what we'll do is we'll just do a quick prelude about how Narayana Rishis appeared. Okay. So Naradaji decided to visit Shvetadipa to take darshan of Lord Narayana. Okay. So he made up his mind that I want to go to Shvetadipa. Naradaji, before going to Shvetadipa, he started to meditate with intense austerities, facing himself towards the Milky Ocean. The Milky Ocean, in our current description, according to the Canto 5, is the north is the Dhruva and the northwestern region is the Shvetadipa. Right? So, seeing at the direction, Narada Muni performed austerities in order to travel to Shvetadipa. Right? While he was doing this, he was inspired by the story narrated by Bhishma Dev. Right? So he narrated about these 3 personalities. They're called as Ekata, Dvita, and Trita. Ekata, Dvita, and Trita. Right? How did they realize the absolute truth? We know the absolute truth is realized in 3 stages. Brahman, Paramatmeti, Bhagavan. Okay. So these 3 personalities were actually sons of Brahmaji. So what they did, they wanted to experience the transcendental form of Lord Narayana. Okay. So they started to go into the top of Mount Meru. and they wanted to see the Shvetadeep. In order to see Shvetadeep, you cannot see so easily. So they started to perform austerities. They started to perform intense tapasya. Once they started to perform intense tapasya, they heard a Vani somewhere from the sky, right? Saying that you will see in the northern direction, you will see this Milky Ocean, and once that manifests, you will be able to travel there, right? Because you performed austerities to take shelter of Lord Vishnu. Now, after intense tapasyas, they were able to see Shvetadeepa, and then they were able to go to Shvetadeepa. After reaching Shvetadeepa, you know what they saw? They saw that the entire Shvetadeepa was having full bright effulgence, okay, full bright effulgence, and they could not see anything in Shvetadeepa. So they sat at Shvetadeepa, and then they again meditate on Lord Vishnu for many celestial years. After meditating for many celestial years, they were able to see certain wonderful personalities who were 400 form. Okay, they were also having some effulgence from their body, right? And their bodily features were also very attractive. And what they were doing, they are having folded hands, and they were offering praise to Lord Vishnu. And these three personalities, they could hear these prayers offered by these personalities. And after some time, they saw a concentrated, like a source of light, like how you see a sun, right? A concentrated, like a source of sun, a moving object started to move and came towards these people who were offering these prayers. And once they came closer, these people offered their prayers. And after some period of time, that source of light just moved away. It was very, very concentric in nature that these three sons of Brahmaji, they could not see what was happening beyond that. And once that source of light moved away, they were able to see these people, and these people did not even pay attention to them. And then, the whole scene that they saw in Shvetadeepa ended. So now you see three elements. In the first element, even to see Shvetadeepa, they had to perform so much of austerity, and then they were able to visualize Shvetadeepa. And then they were able to travel. Okay, that is Brahman realization. Second, when they went to Shvetadeepa, they saw certain elements of activities. That means devotees offering prayers, awe and reverence, but they could not experience Bhagavan because the Yogamaya potency of Bhagavan covered them. And the Brahman effulgence that was coming from the Lord was so powerful that they sort of blindfolded themselves. They could not see it. So this is a realization which is higher than what they saw from Mount Meru, and this is Paramatma realization, right? Now, the question is, why is that they could not see the Lord at this point in time? Because they could not see the Lord because the level of purity in our material consciousness is still existing in those three sons of Brahmaji. Because of that impurity, they could not see the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the personal form. That is Bhagavan realization. So once Naradaji heard this, he was very amazed. He said, this is amazing. Then Naradaji, he performed his austerities and went to Shvetadeep. Once he went to Shvetadeep, he sat down and offered prayers in glorification of Lord Narayana. His glorification was so beautiful, and that's the prayers that we're going to see from Bharata Varsha, from Sloka 9 onwards. And it was so beautiful that the Lord in the Bhagavan, that is, the 400 form of Narayana, he appeared in front of Narada Muni and gave him the darshan. Naradaji is so pleased. Lord Narayana tells Naradaji that, "Oh Narada, you are purest of the devotees. You are the best among the devotees that are there. So hence, your heart is completely purified that you are able to see me in person." And he also tells the Narada Muni that you just heard the story of the three sons of Brahmaji, who came all the way till here, but they were only able to see my effulgence, but they were not able to experience my personal Bhagavan Rupa form. It is because of their impure nature in their heart, right? So what we can understand is, unless we are completely purified of our material consciousness, we will never be able to experience Bhagavan in fullness. And that's the message that the Acharya is trying to give us through this experience. And after this is done, Naradaji is very pleased with Narayana, and Narayana disappears, and Narada Muni comes back to Badrikashrama, where in Badrikashrama we can see that these two rishis are performing their tapasya. Now, Lord Narayana's expansion is Narayana rishis. Okay. Now, they were doing intense tapasya for what? For the welfare of this world. Now, their austerity that the Narayana rishis took was so intense that Naradaji was bewildered. Can anyone perform austerities like this? Taking such difficult things. Even Lakshmiji was completely, bewildered with the kind of austerities that these two Narayana rishis did. She knew that these Narayana rishis are another the incarnation of her Lord Narayana. So what she did, she came as a tree, in the form of a tree, and sheltered these two Narayana rishis because they're performing their austerities. And that is called as the Badri tree, right? So the Badri tree is nothing but Lakshmiji. And Lord Krishna is Badri, is called Badrinath, and Lord Narayana is these two rishis, right? So this is how we come to understanding the position of Narayana rishis. Okay, so now let's see what happened while they performed their tapasya. Okay, when they started to perform their tapasya, we'll see this one. Okay, this is the sloka which talks about Lord Narayana personally appears to Narada Muni and says, "My dear son of Brahma, the rishis, Ekada Advaita and Tata come here in hopes of seeing me, but they're unable to do so. In fact, no one is able to see me unless his heart is completely purified." Right? So this is a sloka now. Okay, so here we understood that Lord Vishnu descends as Narayana rishis to perform tapasya for a long time for the purification of the whole world. This place called Badrinath. Then, the world is a mirror of our consciousness. So now we'll discuss about the story of Indra, how he was distracted just by his insecurity, right? The whole world worshipped Narayana rishis for their great, compassion and austerity. Because why compassion? Because they were wanting the welfare of this whole world. They want the welfare of the entire rishi personalities in this world. While they performed so much of tapasya, Indra became very feared because Indra could not understand the position of Narayana rishis, because he saw the Nara aspect, he saw they were human beings, and then trying to perform these austerities in order to get over his position, right? Indra has so much of opulence, he has so much of prestige, he has so much of powers, so many people. He is in fact the administrative head of all the demigods, but his consciousness is material nature. So hence he was clouded by misjudgment. And that misjudgment causes misbehavior. So what we need to do? We always get, biased or very judgmental against certain personalities or situations or events, and we straight away conclude. So we know the sloka 4.34. Tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. It is always good to consult a person who is on a higher practice of self-realization, on higher practice of sadhana bhakti, rather than concluding why, what, and how. And this is a very important behavioral change that devotees need to bring in. We seldom see that we want to take decision about how whimsical our senses are. Oh, this is what my sense is saying, hence I will do that, right? So this is a classical example. So Indra, he just saw Narayana rishis doing tapasya. He did not know the intention. He did not know who it was. He straight away concluded that they are my competitors. So insecure about his position that I will lose my position. What does Bhagavad Gita teach us? Bhagavad Gita teaches in 2.44. Bhogeshwarya prasaktanam taya parta chestasam. Vyavasayatmika buddhi. So, what is the sloka is trying to tell us is, as far as we keep getting material attachments, material activities, the perfect realization in resolute determination practice of bhakti will not manifest, or it will become very slow, or maybe it will take many, many births. So that's the point. So as time progresses, as age progresses, it is important that we give away our material attachments and get stronger on spiritual attachments. Get stronger on the lotus feet of Krishna. Get stronger on the instructions and the activities of our spiritual master. This is what is important. So he became paranoid. Indraji became paranoid. And you can see from this that whenever we become unstable and paranoid, it gives you two things. One is the fear, another is enviness, right? Envious of others and fear of my position. So this insecurity of Indra led to believe Narayana Rishis was taking over his position. Taking what all he'll say. He will think, not my position. If I lose my position, my palace is lost, my Airavata is lost, my wife is lost, everything, so I better destroy him. So instead of using weapons, what did Indra do? Indra collected the best of the apsaras, called the heavenly servants, the heavenly damsels, right? He collected the best of them and said, okay, now you go. And he also sent the Cupid. You also go along with them. Now you have to distract the tapasya performed by Narayana Rishis. Okay? So all these celestial servants, what they did, they went and created a beautiful atmosphere in Badrikashrama. And then they created an atmosphere of, material love, perverted thoughts, and that lust. They created that atmosphere. But what they didn't realize is, it is a Supreme Person Godhead. Right? They are called Radha Madana Mohana. Right? Radha Madana Mohini. That means even the best of the Cupids cannot attract the Naranarayana Rishis. So, these Narayana Rishis are just unaffected because whatever these damsels are doing, they are completely in the material plane. And these Narayana Rishis are also Atmarama, right? They're completely self-satisfied and they are not appeased by any material pleasure. So these apsaras, they tried and tried and tried and they failed. They could not distract them at all. So then Madana, the Cupid. So what he did, he tried to attract or incite the sexual desire into the hearts of Narayana. But the Lord waited and waited, so he got disgusted. What are you trying to do here? Right? And he decided to respond back to these people. Right? So what he did, he demonstrated by creating a series of apsaras that were more beautiful, more attractive than these demigod apsaras that were sent by, and the Cupid that was sent by Indra. Cupid became ashamed by seeing the beauty of these creations that was instantly done by the Narayana Rishis, and he understood that, oh, I'm making a big blunder. I'm making a big grave mistakes, right? The damsels, the Cupid bow down, begging forgiveness. They understood, oh, something. And why did they beg forgiveness? And they were expecting, now these great sages are going to curse us, and that is going to be the end of our life. We're going to be doomed. That is the kind of consciousness with fear they offered the prayers to Narayana Rishis. What did Narayana Rishi? They responded back. They told that we've created these wonderful apsaras who are much, much more beautiful and attractive than you. You can choose one of them and they will lead you back to Indra and tell Indra, what have you sent and what are you getting in return as gift, right? And that one personality which they selected was Urvashi. And hence Urvashi becomes the crest jewel in the entire Indraloka among the damsels, right? So what we can understand is the compassionate nature of Naranarayan, right? And if you say, when we say Krishna is Satchidananda Vigraha, right? The Ananda Vigraha, you can understand that the state of Ananda is always existing in them. They are not depending on any temporary pleasures of this world. But yet, like Narayana Rishis, like Krishna, like Rama, they keep adventing here, right? Just to do two things. One is to shelter the devotees and accept, the offerings given by the devotees to them. By accepting our offerings to them, they are able to benedict us to get into higher realms of realization, right? So this is the purpose by which they advent, and by practice of devotion, and by shelter of our acharyas, our spiritual master, we can easily understand. Our material grandeur and offering are not what is going to attract Krishna. We've read in the life of Bilva Mangal Thakura. After he lost his eyes, after he realized his mistake of going behind a prostitute, when he offered deep prayer from his heart, Krishna manifested and sat in front of him. So, it is our love and devotion that can attract Lord Narayana. And that's exactly what Naradaji is going to offer prayers in Bharata worship. So, what we'll do is we'll do some key takeaways out of what we discussed here. These key takeaways are something that I've written. So, let's read this so that we can understand these takeaways. Here we see that King Indra, not understanding the glories of the Lord, was God the supreme opulence of renunciation, was placing the personality of Godhead on the same level as himself. What does this mean? He says that Indra is seeing Narayana from his point of view, not understanding the real potency of Narayana. Consider him as an ordinary enjoyer like any one of us. Indra thinks, oh, how I am enjoying this position, my wife, my palace, my soldiers, my subjects, they are also going to enjoying like that. So he's looking from his point of view. And that's what is called a short-sightedness, right? And how can one overcome the short-sightedness? By two things. One is performing of austerity for the pleasure of the Lord, and by knowledge. Knowledge in under the mercy of the spiritual master, not knowledge in a speculative manner, right? So that's the first key takeaway. The second, this makes us understand that we see the world through the glasses of our own consciousness. How I see is what I understand, rather than understanding what the Shastras are telling. So hence, it is always recommended. Go back to the Shastras. What Shastras are concluding? What the Shastras want us to do? Dharmam tu Shakshas Bhagavat Pranitam. The Shastras have come from the mouth of Krishna. So they will speak on the glories of the absolute truth. So we have to always change our viewpoint from Shastric point of view and a Sadhu point of view, not from our point of view, right? This makes us realize that we go on seeing the faults of others and are never able to see their good. It actually means that we have all these faults in us, and that's the reason we see the world in that way. If we demonstrate lust in our hearts, that is what we will see in others also. Okay? A person who has so much of lusty desire, he always sees, where can I find a prostitute? A person who has so much of material enjoyment, he always sees, where will I see those enjoyment? Which country that provides? Which place that provides? Let me go there. Let me settle there. Let me enjoy that. Because that's what is there in his heart. If we have love and devotion for Krishna, then we will seek devotees who are practicing on similar consciousness. We will associate with them. We'll go to those places. We'll go to places of Prayagraj. We'll go to places of Vrindavan, Mayapur. Associate devotees, see the deities, and that's all, because that's what our heart wants. So, our heart is a reflection of our truth is. Okay? By serving the devotees and chanting the holy name, we can attain the highest perfection and eternal happiness in loving service of Krishna. Okay. I have some more takeaways that I have written. About austerities. These are very, very important to understand. A lot of devotees or a lot of us We show off our austerities. Oh, Prabhu, I am doing Nirjal. Oh, Prabhu, I am doing this. Oh, Prabhu, I am doing that. Austerities are not for show off. Austerity should make our hearts soft-hearted, not hard-hearted. We should become more and more saintly in our behavior. Saintly here means detached. Always thinking insignificant about ourselves. Generally, we find that those are very austere in their immature stages. That means taking austerity before the development and the maturity of the consciousness. That's what is called immature stage. Become very hard-hearted and tend to lose gentleness in behavior. So, you should understand step by step. First, understand the Shastra. Get to your practices of sadhana. Then you perform greater and greater austerities. If you don't do that, then this is the cause. We hear so many pastimes wherein many sages could not tolerate offensive behavior towards them. They became angry and they curse. And this is a classical example. So, when they curse the sages, whatever austerities that they performed, they lose. The best is Shringi, right? This Brahmana boy, just because he heard that his father was, offered a dead snake garland, without having patience, without thinking, without checking, he just touched the Ganges water river and then he cursed Parikshit Maharaj. And what happened? The entire Brahminical community fell down. So this is the problem. On the other hand, here we can see that very wonderful, respectful behavior of Sri Narayana Rishi, personification of all austerity towards those who committed offenses. Here, who committed offenses? The demigods, the damsels, including Indra. But what is the response of Narayana Rishi's compassion? That's what you have to understand. Narayana could immediately understand the foolishness of Indra and thus, rather cursing the culprit, exhibiting most sublime saintly behavior, reassured by saying, Ma Bhai, do not fear. I will, take care of you. When Narayana Rishi spoke, eradicating the fear of the demigods, they bowed their heads with a shame and started glorifying the Lord of Lord's compassion. So from the fear of being cursed, they understood compassion. Then they understood the glory of Lord. Right? That was the heart of the damsels that they felt when they offered their prayers to Narayana Rishis. The Lord said to the demigods, please choose one of these women, whomever you find suitable for you. She will become the ornament of the heavenly planet. She'll become the crest jewel of the heavenly planet. Vibrating the sacred syllable Om, the servants of demigods selected Urvashi as the best of the Apsaras. Placing her in front of them out of respect, they returned to the heavenly planets. And they informed Indra. And Indra felt very ashamed of what he did as an act. All right. So this gives us an introduction about Bharata Varsha and how Naradaji offered prayers to Narayana Rishis. And the subsequent slokas, you will see the detailness of the prayers that he offered to Narayana Rishis, right? And by this takeaway message, I hope that we can get to higher realms of bhakti and practice them nicely. Okay. I will end my descriptions and comments. So if you have any questions, let's take it. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for
Yes.
very detailed overview. Also, the details of Narayana's mood of prayers. Thank you, Prabhu. I'd request the devotees to share their comments or reflections or questions. I unmute your mic, please.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandot Pranam. Prabhu,
Yes, ma'am.
why Urvashi is selected as the crest jewel, Prabhu? What is the reason?
She's the top of all the damsels that being created by Narayana. She's the topmost.
Thank you so much for the wonderful class, Prabhu, today. So much Narayana Rishi we have not. We thought it is two different people. I think
Yeah, it is still two different personalities. It's two people, Nara and Narayana. So if you look at it from a Mahabharata standpoint, Narayana and Rishis also play a role. So they are equated to Arjuna and Krishna also. So when Arjuna and Krishna also performed a great tapasya, the pastime of Karna, right? How Sahasra Kavach was defeated and how they performed a great austerity. So they have played the role there also.
And Lord Vishnu wanted to see Narnarayana. So when that Brahmana's children he could not revive, and then they go there, no Prabhu. One Brahmana's children, they die, and he will go and curse the king.
They go see Mahavishnu.
Oh, oh.
They go see Mahavishnu. Yeah. They're not Narana Rishis. They go see Mahavishnu.
Yes.
Okay, that time they saw Arjuna and Krishna as Narayana. Okay. Now I got the context. Yeah.
Thank you very much for the wonderful class.
Yeah. Okay, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat pranams. Thanks for the wonderful class, Prabhu. Prabhu, in so many pastimes we hear Indra making mistakes again and again and not learning his lessons. So how to understand this, Prabhu?
So Indra is doing a great favor for you. Okay. So intelligence means it is not that I have to make a mistake and learn from it, but I also learn from others' mistake. That's intelligence, right? So Indra is also a great devotee of Lord. Okay, that's why Lord, you see, he only uses Indra to teach us a lesson in the form of punishment or anything, but he never takes away Indra out of his position, nor kills Indra or any of the factors, right? So you can look at it like this. Lord is engaging Indra in teaching us, great lessons, in teaching us things to do and things not to do. So we shall see from that point of view. If you see Indra as someone who's ignorant, who's insecure, who's full of material qualities, then you see we get into the same problem that we see someone with our viewpoint of consciousness. So hence what we see what the commentaries of the acharyas and then say why an action is being performed. All these people are committing what is called as a play role in order to teach this entire world a lesson.
Yes, Prabhu. So he's doing a great service for us.
Yeah, you can consider it something like that.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat pranam.
Yes, Prabhu.
The three sons of Brahma, Ekta, Dvaita, and Drita,
Yeah.
though they are demigods, sons of demigods, how they have the material contamination, they could not able to realize the Bhagavan, Prabhu?
Whoever it may be, including Lord Brahmaji, he could not see the Lord directly. So whoever it may be, whether you're exalted or not exalted, that does not mean. It is not by your birth you achieve your devotion qualification. It is by your practice. That is what is called as Dvija and Dvija Bandhu.
Okay.
So just because you're son of a Brahmana, it does not mean you attain all the Brahmanical qualities. You attain these qualities only through practice of devotion. That's the key point to understand, right? So if you see, Bhagavatam is full of such contradictions, right? But if you analyze deeply, those contradictions get solved. Yes. Now, how can a pure devotee like Prahalad be born to Hiranyakashipu? You can ask that question, right?
Yes, bro.
So you see there's a contradiction. So like that, you'll see many, many contradictions. But contradictions are existing in the face of it. But if you go detailedly and sit with a personality who's a practicing devotee, then you can understand, Prabhu, how to understand these contradictions, right? Okay. Like that you can.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for a wonderful discussion. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Any other questions?
Comments from devotees?
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Today it's a very, very nice interactive session what you had, and you have given us interaction in the sense I was contemplating so many things when you have been explaining. So thank you very much for the nice class, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay. If there are no more questions, we can end it. Thank you all so much for your association in the morning. And it was really nectarian for me to speak about the Lord in the morning and about his qualities. Whenever I speak about his qualities, there's so much of realization in my heart that I enjoy that bliss about the qualities of the Lord. It slowly, steadily increases my bhakti also. So this is an opportunity that I've enjoyed. Thank you so much. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय, गुरुदेव की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, वैष्णव ठाकुर श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम तत्सत। थैंक यू। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण। नमस्कार।
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I think there are no questions. We can end today's session with Vaishnava Pranam Prabhu.
Yes, yes, done, Prabhu. Vaishnav pranams done.
कल्पतरुभ्यस्य कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवत की जय, जगद्गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, अन्तकोटि वैष्णव की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंद हरि हरि बोल। Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much for your association. Krishna devotees, we'll meet again tomorrow morning. Krishna will.